Imagine a land so far removed from the rest of the world that for centuries it existed completely untouched by outsiders. Thousands of miles of ocean separated it from the nearest continent, a hidden paradise waiting to be discovered. This is New Zealand, a country that is not only breathtakingly beautiful but also rich in culture and history that has evolved in just a few hundred years. How did this remote cluster of islands, uninhabited less than a millennium ago, transform into one of the world's most desirable destinations to live and visit? Let's unravel the history of New Zealand. New Zealand is the last major landmass to be inhabited by humans, with the first arrivals landing around 1250 to 1300. These pioneers were Polynesians, skilled navigators part of the Great Polynesian expansion that spread across the Pacific. Using advanced knowledge of stars and currents, they sailed massive ocean-going canoes known as waka, reaching not only New Zealand but also Hawaii, Easter Island, and possibly South America. Upon settling, these voyagers became the ancestors of the Maori, bringing advanced farming techniques, crafting skills, and social systems. They established villages along coasts and rivers, organized into tribes called iwi, and recorded genealogical and spiritual knowledge through oral traditions known as wakapapa. Fortified hilltop settlements called pa provided defense and social cohesion, while a polytheistic belief system connected them deeply to the land and nature. By the 16th century, Maori culture was highly structured. Chiefs known as rangataira led communities with influence earned through respect and strategic leadership. Intertribal conflict grew over land and resources. Warriors, or toa, skilled in hand-to-hand combat, used wooden, bone, and stone weapons. Psychological tactics like the haka dance showcased tribal strength before battles. The first Europeans arrived in 1642 when Dutch explorer Abel Tasman charted New Zealand's coast. Initial encounters with Maori quickly turned violent, resulting in fatalities and Tasman departing without landing. Nevertheless, New Zealand was recorded on European maps as Nova Zealandia, named after the Dutch province. Over a century later, Captain James Cook arrived in 1769, followed by French expeditions. Cook mapped both islands extensively, forming friendly relations with Maori, though conflicts occasionally erupted. Despite claiming New Zealand for Britain, no immediate colonization occurred. Meanwhile, whaling and trade ships from Britain, France, and America exchanged goods like iron and cloth for flax and timber. The introduction of firearms transformed Maori society, sparking the Musket Wars between 1806 to 1845. Tribes fought nearly 3,000 battles over territory and revenge, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths. Early European settlers established permanent communities in Northland, with some integrating into Maori society, becoming known as Pakeha Maori. Missionaries arrived in the early 19th century, spreading Christianity and literacy. Samuel Marsden established the first mission in 1814 at Bay of Islands. Maori language began to be written down, preserving culture in new ways. The New Zealand Company's land acquisitions in 1839 alarmed both Maori and Britain. To prevent disputes, Captain William Hobson was sent, and on February 6, 1840, the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, establishing British sovereignty while recognizing Maori rights. In 1841, New Zealand became a separate British Crown colony. Thousands of British settlers arrived, founding cities like Auckland in 1840 and Christchurch in 1848. Land disputes led to the Flagstaff War between 1845 to 1846 and later the New Zealand Wars in the 1860s, with British forces seizing 6,000 square miles of Maori land by 1872. New Zealand's self-governance began in 1852 with an elected parliament. Agriculture, especially sheep farming, thrived. Gold discoveries attracted new immigrants from Europe, Asia, and America, rapidly expanding the population. Artists like Godfried Lindauer recorded Maori culture through portraits. Public works under Prime Minister Sir Julius Vogel modernized infrastructure, while Richard Seddon's Liberal government introduced welfare programs and universal female suffrage in 1893. In 1907, New Zealand became a dominion, gaining political independence while remaining tied to Britain. In World War I, over 100,000 soldiers served as Anzac troops, including campaigns at Gallipoli with more than 18,000 fatalities. World War II saw New Zealand provide massive military and material support, shifting its strategic alignment toward the United States and the Pacific. Post-war New Zealand embraced liberal immigration, bringing diverse communities from Asia, while Maori culture experienced a revival. Maori language gained official status in 1987, and indigenous political engagement increased. Today, New Zealand is a unique, thriving nation, celebrated for its natural beauty, multicultural society, and vibrant Maori heritage. From the first settlers to the latest arrivals at Auckland International Airport, the islands have offered a life so distinctive and desirable that it cannot be found anywhere else on Earth.